Thanks, Mr. Chairman. 2 years ago, my wife was visiting family and called me and told me something's happening on Interstate 55, which is just south of Springfield. She said, we've been diverted and I have to go through Taylorville, which is another 30, 40 miles. Must have been an accident. Well, there sure was. In May of 2023, on Interstate 55, south of Springfield, there was a 72 vehicle pileup that took the lives of 8 people. The reason? A dust storm. The University of Illinois recently completed a study that concluded the lack of ground cover and dry conditions were contributing to that. Ms. Dwyer, you and I probably discussed this before. You indicated Illinois ranks very low in conservation dollars sent in by USDA. We need more. Can you explain why we have so few?
I would love to know why we don't see the proportion of dollars we would like to see. But as we've heard from some other panelists, I think it's also important to note that, especially in a state with the size of Illinois, it's not going to be dollars alone that fix this. It's the process. We think about 22 million acres of corn and soybeans, yet we have about 1 million acres of cover crops. That leaves a glaring hole on what needs to happen, and the question is why. And it's looking at this instead of focusing on the practice of cover crops, what is it going to take to assist a farmer in that transition and to holistically support that systems change. We have members that have gone into NRCS and have been denied 6 years in a row for their EQIP application. So it's a combination of the funding, the burdensome of the application process. I'm honestly shocked that they've gone in year after year, and now it's almost a joke, if you will, on is it going to be another year? How many years can I be denied in a row? And so it's figuring out how can we bring in federal dollars, partnering with some really good private partners that want to invest for similar goals and priorities, and then bringing in that technical assistance to help make this scalable with flexible programs.
So what I heard from Mr. Doyle was that the producer has to make the decision early on to take land out of production in the near and short term, understanding in the long term there's real value to the operation. So Ms. Dwyer, are we dealing with the commitment being there to move forward, but just the lack of resources making it?
Yeah, it's a combination of things. And I think that for a state like Illinois, we need to be focused on what can we do for our working lands. It's going to be a really challenging sell to convince a farmer in central Illinois to take some of the most productive fertile ground out and put it into a program like a general CRP program that is going to remove that from production for 10 to 15 years. We need to look at how can we get practices like cover crops, strip till, no-till, to become the commonplace on those acres. And that's going to take the flexibility and innovative programs that we don't have today.
One of the things I thought about when we discuss conservation is obviously what we're sending down the Mississippi River to the Gulf of Mexico, or its new name. And my question is there any measurement that you can rely on that suggests that we're doing the right thing in improving, reducing runoff of soil and chemical runoff?
Yeah, we are making progress. I think the other thing to consider is we're not trying to make this progress in a bubble. We're seeing excessive rainfall. We're seeing bigger, more intensive rainfall events, and that makes those goalposts move. And so we need to be thinking as well on what are we doing in terms of the additional flow, and how can we incorporate technology and different practices to ensure that nutrient application is happening at the right time, at the right place, at the right rate. And I would say one thing that we've yet to discuss today is there are really no programs outside of Minnesota has a great program and example on cost sharing and helping with equipment. If farmers can't access the very costly capital improvements on some of this precision technology, it's going to be really hard to help us to truly meet those goals.
Do you have any idea what our average productivity is in corn bushels per acre in Illinois?
Well, we do have the highest yielding county in the country. We can claim that.
Which one is that?
McLean.
That's what I thought. It's been that way for a long time.
Has.
Do you have any idea what the production is in that acreage?
We're well over 200 bushels.
Well over 200. You give reference here to peaking in 1950. The United States has lost nearly a quarter of its farmland, an average of 11,000 acres per day. Do you have any idea in previous years what the productivity was, corn productivity was, on any base acreage?
Oh, we've grown exponentially. I mean, for my great-grandfather and my grandfather, if they would have saw 100 bushels, they they wouldn't have known what to do. And now most of the farmers, especially in central Illinois, if they see something less than 230, they're probably disappointed. And so we've doubled and in some cases approaching tripling what that productivity has accomplished.
Do you believe there's still upside potential?
I do.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.